That's not cool. Whoever's doing that on Twitter, shame on you. That's not cool. Masterplan Part 3 is about scaling. Like, how do we scale to get to fully sustainable energy economy? And what tonnage do we need of what materials? And what is maybe the best way to get all of those materials and turn them into batteries? The limiting factor is the rate at which we can increase battery production. There are too many smart Americans in finance and law. And then they said it's just crazy. They said that like Giga Berlin wouldn't get built and like you wouldn't get approvals.
Yeah.
We're like making 1,000 cars a week.
You've said before that Tesla might go into the mining industry. Is this something you're still considering? Is it on the table or just in the back of your mind?
In this video, we're getting stoned with Elon Musk as he shares some juicy new details about Tesla's secret master plan Part 3, whether or not they'll get into the mining industry, and loads more. If you're a Tesla stock investor, make sure you're paying close attention. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. So first up today, just quickly, Tesla stock up 1.25%. I still cannot believe that Tesla stock today is under $700 per share. The market cap around $700 billion. It's mid 2022. The stock has done literally nothing in the last 1 year. I mean, well, it's actually up 0.43%, but you get the point, right? It won't age well. The Nasdaq 100 today up almost 1%. Apple stock up today almost 2%, Amazon stock up today over 3%, but a bit of a mixed bag. Alphabet stock, Google's parent company, down a tiny bit, Rivian stock down just a little bit, and Lucid stock down almost 1%, and ARK's flagship ETF up over 3%. And now onto the Tesla-centric highlights from Elon Musk's appearance on the Getting Stoned podcast. There's a link in the description of the full interview, runs for around an hour, you should definitely check that out, but in this video we're just focused on the Tesla stuff. First, Elon has some comments about the lobbying from car dealerships and other incumbents who really don't want Tesla to succeed.
It's to be expected that incumbents will oppose new entrants to a market, and they're if they can't win a fair fight, they'll try an unfair fight. So I think we'll continue to see opposition to Tesla, and but I think at the end of the day, if we have the people on our side and we've got a customer supporting us, I think with customer support or with Tesla owner support, I think we'll win most of the battles. We're not going to win them all, probably, but we'll win most of them.
Now, if you're a Tesla stock investor, pay very close attention to the next question and Elon's response.
You've said before that Tesla might go into the mining industry. Is this something you're still considering? Is it on the table or just in the back of your mind?
Well, we don't want to go into the mining industry or the sort of refining industry for because the limitation, I think, is actually more, for example, with lithium, it's more lithium refinement than it is the actual mining. So you've got to take the ore that contains lithium and you've got to refine it and get it to battery grade lithium hydroxide or lithium carbonate, and it has to be extremely pure. Otherwise, you could have a breakdown in the cell. Like you can't have like impurities in the cell because it will cause the cell to fail. So the challenge with a lot of the ingredients into lithium-ion batteries is the processing. It's not the fundamental rarity of lithium. Lithium is very common. It's one of the most common elements on Earth. But you've got to turn it into battery grade lithium, and that's all of that processing. That's where the choke point is. So I hope we do not need to get into the mining business.
Some very important comments from Elon Musk here. We've heard in the past, Elon has been asked about mining. Yeah, look, we'll do it if we have to, but clearly we don't want to. Elon reiterating those same comments, but for the first time making a very clear distinction between mining of the resources, in this case lithium, and the far more important bottleneck, the refinement of lithium. Don't be surprised if we see Tesla applying their big brains to this particular bottleneck in the near term. And in completely unrelated matters, here's some news from around a year ago. Quote, Tesla files new patent on lithium extraction method. Tesla has filed a new patent on lithium extraction, offering an environmentally friendlier means of extraction than current techniques. Quote, Tesla, not Tesla Motors, has filed a patent on a new extraction method of lithium from clay materials, titled Selective Extraction of Lithium from Clay Minerals, The process was first alluded to by CEO Elon Musk at Tesla's Battery Investor Day in September 2020. The patent sets out a new method of extracting lithium from ore using table salt, aka sodium chloride. If you guys are curious, jump on Google and learn a little bit more about this. The point, Tesla always playing 4D chess. Many moves ahead, thinking ahead, where's the next bottleneck, what can we do here? I do want to underscore this point. Most people out there think of Tesla as a car company, not an AI company, not a company full of big brain engineers who can apply their abilities to solving any problems. I mean, seriously? Humans have been extracting lithium from the earth for a very long time. Why is it that out of nowhere, Tesla suddenly files a new patent, a new method for extracting lithium from clay? Why didn't anyone else think of that? They didn't have a big enough need. This is very important to understand about Tesla. They're continually scanning the horizon. Okay, what's the next bottleneck? What's going to slow us down? And how can we blow that open? And to be clear, this Tesla patent is about extracting, not refining and purifying lithium to go in batteries, but the same point remains. Tesla's always looking into the future. What's the next choke point? What's going to slow us down? Let's ensure that doesn't happen. These comments from Elon Musk will carry even more weight as we get further into this interview relating to his comments on Tesla's secret master plan part 3. For now, I just want to reiterate, it's pretty obvious that at some point we're going to hear a lot more from Tesla, specifically on the refinement of lithium. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I mean, it's important to appreciate like this. There's a limited number of smart, hardworking people that we can say work on this problem or work on that problem. And so if we have people work on this problem, they can't work on that problem. Right. And there's not like some magical source of super talented people. We're not sitting around with idle resources saying, I wonder what more we can take on. We have to sort of have some dire resources and focus on things that really make a difference. And so we want to work on the things that accelerate sustainable energy the fastest, whatever the limiting factors are.
Some very telling comments here from Elon. Tesla doesn't have infinite talent and unlimited resources, so it's always a balancing act. Tesla always asking the question, what is the most valuable use of our resources, our talent, our big brain engineers right now? And when I say right now, I don't mean right now as in let's think only about today. Right now to ensure we don't get trapped, stifled, bottlenecked in the future. If Tesla had unlimited resources, they'd already be in the mining business. Unfortunately, Elon, I think there's better than 50% chance that Tesla will need to get into the mining business either directly or indirectly by collaborating very closely with mining companies in the future. I really do hope I'm wrong, as Elon points out. With limited resources, Tesla really don't want to be dicking around in things they don't absolutely need to. The key word there is need. If the global mining industry isn't going to be able to meet the needs of Tesla's massive scale, more on this in Masterplan Part 3 in just a moment, Tesla will have no choice.
I mean, there are 3 pillars to a sustainable energy future. Mm-hmm. One is electric transport. The other is sustainable power generation, primarily through solar and wind. And then the third is stationary battery energy storage. The stationary battery part is a big deal, and we are ramping that up. It's going to be, I think, a very big part of our business long term.
This is an extremely important point from Elon that I don't think most Tesla stock investors appreciate. I don't think most people even understand the potential scale of Tesla's stationary storage business. At this point in time, because Tesla is cell constrained, they can't get enough battery cells to make all the products they want to, they are prioritizing vehicles over stationary storage, home batteries, grid scale batteries, and so on. But as Tesla can alleviate their battery cell constraints through their own 4680 cell, plus longer term contracts with other battery cell manufacturers, expect to see Tesla's battery storage business explode. As we've heard from Elon, over the long term, he believes Tesla's energy business can grow to be approximately the same size as their automotive business. And we know by 2030, Tesla is aiming to produce 20 plus million electric vehicles in a single year. So that's a watermark. The energy business, which yes, includes a little bit of solar, but predominantly is going to be battery storage, could be at least that size or larger over the longer term. But again, because Tesla is currently cell constrained, the growth in their battery storage business has been massively artificially suppressed. As soon as they can blow open that constraint, look out.
It's a very important part of the total energy solution for Earth. Our estimate is that you need about 300 terawatt hours of energy storage, or said it another 300,000 gigawatt hours. Mm-hmm. Other people may come up with different numbers, but in order to fully transition Earth, including all electricity, transport, and heating, we think it's probably around that number. So that's a lot of batteries that need to get made.
Understatement of the fucking century. That certainly is a lot of batteries that need to get made. But let's flip that around a little bit. That means there's a lot of batteries that need to be made. That also means there's a lot of batteries that need to be sold and bought. See where I'm going with this, right? Does anyone know any companies that's producing batteries? Home batteries? Grid scale batteries? Any companies that have years and years of experience doing so? Massive scale? have invented their own new battery cells, a new form factor? No, I don't know any companies like that either. But if I did, I could probably deduce if there's going to be a lot of batteries produced and sold, any companies that are selling those batteries, at least a decent portion of them, is likely in the future to be selling tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars worth of batteries every single year. It's just a shame there's no companies out there that have already demonstrated compelling battery storage products, because I'd sure love to own their stock if there were any companies like that. You guys watching don't know of any companies like that, do you? If you do, please let me know in the comments below.
If you assume battery life before it gets recycled of 20 years, roughly, then you need 15 terawatt hours a year of annual production, a steady state, 15,000 gigawatt hours a year.
Now, I know most of you watching are too lazy to do this, but if you're not, here's a quick bit of homework. First, figure out approximately where battery costs will be, cost per kilowatt hour, in X amount of time in the future. Call it 10, 15, 20 years. And here's a little clue. If you're unsure, how in the am I supposed to know what batteries are going to cost in the future, Stephen? I don't have a crystal ball. Can I borrow yours? In response to that, I would say battery costs are actually declining predictably over time. Predictably. Keyword predictably, which means that we can approximately predict what battery costs will be at some point in the future. Then assume a company, any company, a random company that I can't think of, but just a random placeholder company might get maybe a 20% share of that, around 3 terawatt hours. And then do the numbers on 3 terawatt hours at that cost per kilowatt hour, and you'll have a rough idea of how much revenue a company could, in theory, produce selling battery storage if Elon's assumptions are correct, with just a 20% share of those batteries.
Our current production is much less than that. I think we might be approaching 1,000 gigawatt hours, thereabouts at this point. And this is like my sort of Masterplan Part 3 is about scaling. Like, how do we scale to get to, how do we get to that fully sustainable economy, fully sustainable energy economy? And what tonnage do we need of what materials? And what is maybe the best way to get all of those materials and turn them into batteries?
This right here is the most important thing Elon Musk has said about Tesla in months. This is first principles thinking in action. We're not talking about how many cars produced per year. No. We're talking about how much physical stuff. We're talking about atoms here. How many atoms of this and that are actually necessary to get this done? And then how do we gather these atoms in the most efficient and rapid way we possibly can? I got a funny feeling most people aren't really going to quite grasp the weight of Elon's comments here. The shift in mindset. Tesla's early master plans, make some electric vehicles, drive the costs down, make some solar, some batteries, and then solve autonomy. Great, cool. But these comments now, Elon's talking about how much tonnage, raw materials are necessary to actually transition the entire world to sustainable energy generation, storage, and supply. Just shows how much further ahead Tesla and Elon are in their thinking and their progress in solving this problem. Masterplan Part 3 is going to be the nerdiest of all Tesla's master plans, but probably the most important. And in completely unrelated matters, we're now looking at the world's largest companies by revenue. Notice a common theme, a bit of a trend here. I might even go as far as to say many of these companies appear to be directly in Tesla's crosshairs. The world's second largest company by revenue, State Grid, an electricity company. Electricity, isn't that energy? Isn't Tesla? Yeah, Tesla's definitely going after that. China National Petroleum, number 4, oil and gas. Tesla's also going after that. Sinopec Group, oil and gas, number 5. Geez, that's a bit troubling. Toyota Automotive, yep, they're in trouble. Volkswagen, number 10, automotive, they're in big trouble as well. Let's keep scrolling a little bit. Saudi Aramco, number 14, oil and gas. BP, oil and gas, number 18. Number 19, Shell, oil and gas. Number 23, ExxonMobil, oil and gas. So I think what I was trying to say there is there's definitely absolutely nothing to worry about whatsoever if you happen to be an oil and gas company or an electricity company and or a utility, because Tesla's definitely not going to be eating your entire lunch and your breakfast and your dinner and your girlfriend. Nothing to see here. Don't worry. Don't panic. Everything's going to be fine.
The fundamental governor of the rate at which we can transition to sustainability is the rate at which we can grow the output of lithium-ion batteries.
Is it just me, or is Elon really banging the drum here on batteries? I am a little bit confused here because according to the experts, Tesla's just the car company. So I'm not really sure why Elon keeps talking about batteries, and why batteries are so important. After all, Tesla is just a car company, right?
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's just under relentless attack from so many
It's
quarters.
crazy.
Yeah, so I think we just have to have a strong litigation group that fights back, essentially.
That's right, Tesla's soon-to-be-formed hardcore litigation team ain't fucking around. Tesla will no longer be bending over and taking it. Now, I know this may be a little bit conspiratorial, but I have a funny feeling that in the past, lots of bags of money have been changing hands behind the scenes. hedge funds, big short sellers, people with inferiority complexes, I don't know, spreading lies, misinformation, fear, uncertainty and doubt, planting stories in the media, paying people who previously worked at Tesla to say things that aren't true, funding sham research shops on Wall Street. I'm an analyst, buy my report on how Tesla's going bankrupt, busted growth story, there's no demand. All in an effort to either damage Tesla, the company, or crush Tesla's stock price so people can make obscene amounts of money. Well, Tesla has finally decided to punch back, fatally. And in case you haven't figured it out yet, Elon Musk tends to be a man on a mission. If I were anyone who's ever in the past or is currently engaged in any deceptive or dishonest tactics in an attempt to make money being short Tesla stock by spreading lies, misinformation, distortion of facts and so on, I would be quaking in my boots. In short, get it short because that was really bad. Those who've fucked Tesla or are currently fucking Tesla, that's right, are about to get fucked by Tesla. Can't wait to see this play out.
The conspiracies I see on Twitter from people who like really hate you and hate Tesla are just nuts. Like, it's like you can come up with some good satire.
I mean, they really have to twist themselves into a pretzel here. I mean, like,
what an inclusive interview here. Even a shout out to the self-hating basement-dwelling adult virgins who are short Tesla stock, living in their mum's basement, distorting the facts, bending themselves into a pretzel, as Elon points out, trying to come up with any possible rationale for why Tesla is a fraud, Elon's a bad person, the company's going bankrupt, their factories aren't real, and so on. I mean, seriously, the study of the self-identifying members of the Tesla Q army is one of the most fascinating psychological phenomenon I've ever come across. The confirmation bias, the delusion, is second to none. I've never, ever seen a more compelling example of how easily some people who are morons are capable of deluding themselves. It really is a fascinating case study. And for some reason, in almost every case, the self-identifying members of the Tesla Q army are not only adult virgins living in their mum's basement, but also hate themselves. Of course, there are some exceptions to the rule, it's just very hard to find them. Now, I'm not saying correlation, causation, look, I'm just pointing out my observation has generally been the typical Tesla short seller is male, is a virgin, lives in his mum's basement, and hates himself. Maybe it's a coincidence, but it is fascinating.
It's like, what diabolical thing do they think? I'm like in the factory trying to make...
You're building cars.
Yeah, like you can just literally see it.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Like, how bad
but
is
I mean, the short sellers would like try to at one point like say that Giga Shanghai's fake and it's not
I remember that.
and
they said it was a field of mud.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was at one time.
It was one time, but then we made a factory on it.
Nice to see a bit of a shout out to the old field with some digging going on.
Elon Musk said that there is going to be Model 3s manufactured from the China plant by the end of 2019. So far, the China plant is basically an open field with some digging going on. It's harder and harder to believe that there will be Model 3s coming out of the Tesla China Gigafactory by the end of the year.
And we all know how that one turned out. Unfortunately for this extremely credible journalist who definitely isn't a puppet of any Tesla short sellers, I want to make sure everybody understands, absolutely no chance whatsoever that any Tesla short sellers have ever influenced this extremely credible ethical journalist. I think her name is Lynette Dope-Ez, something like that. Anyway, fast forward, and we do know that, funnily enough, vehicles were actually coming out of the Shanghai factory at the end of that year, despite it being a field with some digging going on at the time of that piece being recorded. I wonder if Lynette has learned her lesson to not underestimate Tesla. Probably not.
Don't change.
They were trying to say that was fake, and like it's not fake if you can. It's like the people have drone videos and like stuff. And tons of cars are coming out of it. And then they said it's just crazy. They said that like Giga Berlin wouldn't get built, and like you wouldn't get approvals. It's like, we're like making 1,000 cars a week.
Juicy little insight there. Elon confirming at the time of this interview about a week ago, Berlin already producing around 1,000 vehicles per week at an annualized rate of 50,000. Remember the S-curve, the big ramp in production? Berlin's already at 1,000 vehicles per week. Give it a few months, maybe 3 to 6 months. That's probably going to be well over 100, maybe 150,000 at an annualized rate. Keyword there being annualized rate. It's very important as Tesla stock investors to pay close attention to how quickly the Berlin and the Austin factories are able to ramp, because this will be an interesting insight for future factory ramps, which are likely to go even more smoothly given the fact that the 4680 cell and some massive challenges with supply chain, the China lockdowns, etc. have basically fucked Tesla during the process of trying to ramp both factories. In other words, future factories should ramp even more smoothly and even faster.
I sure hope a lot more talented people get into manufacturing, because that's like, where you're making the products that people, use and enjoy. It's like, this is both a compliment and a criticism, but there are too many smart Americans in finance and law. So I'm saying they're smart, but I'm also saying that like, could they consider doing manufacturing instead of finance or law?
Yeah.
Anyone watching who currently works in finance or law?
Because I think we have probably too many lawyers in the United States, and too many people in finance, and their talents would just be much better applied to manufacturing.
Yeah.
Like making stuff people need and love.
I definitely agree with Elon on this point. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for lawyers, there's a place for people working in finance, but he's right, there's far too many smart people, especially in the United States, in both of these industries. I think it's fair to say that the US is probably the most litigious country on the entire planet, to a point where it is absolutely fucking farcical. Of course, I'm definitely not going to take this opportunity to point out some of the absolutely obscene lawsuits that have been leveled at Tesla recently that are completely out of proportion, make no fucking sense, and have nothing at all to do with people being called a mean word allegedly. I definitely personally think that it's completely reasonable for somebody to receive 10, 15, 20, $100 million because somebody said something they didn't like to hear. That's definitely in proportion, So what I said about law and too many lawyers, and forget everything I said about that. Completely wrong. There's not enough lawyers in the US. It's not litigious enough, and everybody watching who's smart should definitely get into law in particular. And now, one final comment from Elon Musk, reiterating the most important thing Tesla stock investors should be paying attention to, asking the question, how is Tesla solving this bottleneck?
The limiting factor is the rate at which we can increase battery production.
There's that word again. Batteries. The limiting factor, battery production. If I were to make a YouTube channel about batteries, that'd be a great name, The Limiting Factor. Someone should do that. Oh, God. Hope you guys and girls have enjoyed the video. Don't forget, listen to the full podcast. Elon Musk, Getting Stoned. Great conversation. Lots of information in there. Link in description. And lastly, don't forget to join Patreon with the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment. Gain access to well over 100 Q&A videos, loads of other exclusive videos, tons of perks, plus instant up-to-date access to my Tesla stock price targets out over the next decade. So, see you over on Patreon. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel, and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.